welcome back to Oh-The-Humanities, but more importantly, welcome back to my voice a little bit.
Oh my God, you sound like you again.
I know, I don't sound like someone is slowly putting a mouse in a vice that's in a very dusty woodworking factory, and it is nice to almost be human again.
Welcome back. Welcome back.
But it's the return of the huge monster teeth.
Oh, the
huge monster teeth.
Yes.
We hadn't rehearsed that at all, have we?
I've missed that.
I have lit a candle for the moment. Not just for the moment, but for you and your forthcoming baby child.
Thank you.
No, and what's it? What is the smell? The smell is flares and jewels.
Flares and jewels. Oh God, yeah.
It's barley, sandalwood, and jasmine. Very nice.
Ooh.
Yeah,
that sounds classy.
Yeah, that's me. Cost a penny off £4. That's how much on leadership is.
I'm a man who buys a £4 candle.
Yeah, well, I like the smell, which probably means I'm getting old. It's one of those things where it's like, oh, what should we get Mum for Christmas? I don't know. What's she interested in? Nothing. What she do? She watches telly. Let's go to Yankee Candle.
You say that. That's how that works, though. Exactly, that's how that works. Like, what do you? I don't know what they want. Like,
I wonder if in America there's like the equivalent, and they're going like, "Hey, what should we get Mom for Christmas?" I don't know. What does she do? She just watches like soaps and shit. It drives me mad. What should we get her? Let's go to Stockport Candle or something. I don't know.
Let's get her a Scouswick.
I know. I'm looking forward to because Britain is becoming more and more popular in the States with the likes of Doctor Who and stuff. I'm looking forward to some sort of reboot of 90210 where it's just like, I'm out of here. I'm going to Greg's for a steak bake. Will you get me an egg custard? Damn you, no. Should have thought of that before you cheated on me with Chad. Do you have a drink in tow?
Actually, it's about a foot away from me. I'm going to take a brief podcast break because I can't reach it with my earphone in.
Okay, that's the earphone.
I'm moving back. I'm at maximum stretch. No, this is bad. I'll be back in half a second. Don't pull it away, Laura.
I'm drinking Cafe Verona.
That's not very
fair
nice.
Listeners, as Paddy is elsewhere.
She
Cafe
literally
tucked her I'm talking to the listeners. You just bailed.
I was
don't interrupt my connection with the listeners.
And she pulled my the tea away. She made it worse.
I thought you just said she pulled my tit.
That as well. It's been a big day.
Twisting your melon, man. Now, I am drinking Cafe Verona, which is one of my favourite coffees. It's a dark roast, but it tastes a lot like Black Forest Gatto. It's really nice. Oh. Yeah, I like it a lot.
Sounds nice.
It's smooth and lovely.
I'm drinking a pleasant mug of smoky Russian Caravan tea. An old classic, but I like it a lot.
See? Opposites attract.
Lovely smoky flavour, and I'm having it in my clear cup so I can see the colour.
So, having covered all the important bases of the politics of life, I'm going to jump straight into the sneak peek of Iceborne that hit the interwebs today. Yeah, because we are going to dive into Dauntless after that, because it's ace. But
can you do it in the voice of the guy who does the Monster Hunter trailers on the internet? Next up.
Yeah, no.
We're going to have a look at the new trailer for Monster Hunter World.
That wasn't bad.
Thanks. I enjoy his voice tremendously.
You see, the only time I've really sort of heard that is because the new Monster Hunter weapon stuff I've seen with commentaries from Arax and other people talking about it. So the only point where I've actually heard that voice is in that Fear of Flames hunting horn video.
Support weapon.
Yeah, and I thought that was him. So when I heard it from another source, I was like, what? So I don't know. But yeah, Monster Hunter has been teasing new weapons and abilities this last week, and today dropped a 4-minute trailer for Iceborne. It looks gorgeous.
It's really nice, doesn't it? It's pretty.
It shows off even more about the game, and I am very excited. So we saw things like, first let's say I really like snow in games. The Division, the original one, it's much more interesting than the sequel to me because there's something sort of quite magical about crisp, ghostly New York covered in snow. And this one, the new hub world looked great for starters.
It's like an outpost base, but it looks really fun, like a Christmas village.
Yeah, very much. It showed off riding on jaguars.
Yeah. I mean,
I hope that's a thing.
I
hope
really
that's
want
continually a thing.
Yeah, you just roll up like, hey, let's go hunting. Whee!
Because we've hit enough of them now, and I suppose our cats have spoken to the tail riders with regards to the safari. So maybe it's a natural evolution of that. But
at this point, the Great Human Jaguars Alliance has been formed.
Yeah,
much like how men and horses became allied back in
the
Victorian times.
Or that great picture of a monkey on a greyhound. I am. It might be stupid, but the thought of, obviously running towards the monster is one thing, and I don't know how much you can actually do with the jaguars with regards to climbing. But I like the fact of racing you like idiots across a terrain to try and get to a monster.
Oh, think about this though. Run. Wait, Castodon, chomp. Run.
It's gonna be ace. I hope it's a thing. The Tigrex arrives and noms on an Odogaron like it's a chew toy.
Was that the dragon that was kind of tigery striped?
Yeah, it's the yellow and blue.
Because I don't recognise these based off their names or anything. I'm just like the tigery, scary looking one.
Yeah, and
he
also,
fucked that Odogaron up, didn't he?
He did. But also, to quote from a popular internet meme, kids, sex is good and all, but have you seen a Tigrex stop the spiky forward momentum roll of the Radabun with its teeth? Did you see that?
That was good.
I was like,
nah, mate.
Oh, mama. So, yeah.
That's like when you're watching an anime and you've got the big powered supervillain who's like smashed everything in his past, and then the new hero turns up and stops him without even really trying. You're like, oh, he's strong.
Tigrex is a beast.
His aura is intense and powerful.
I love him, and he's just like that strange thing of looking like he's got almost hands on the floor, but still looking familiar but different. I saw an animation video ages ago with I think it was him and maybe Nagakuga, and they were talking about like the differentials within the weight of their body and how they would move and stuff, and it was all hand animated. It was really nice. But
the one I liked at the end of the trailer, the one who I don't know what it was, but it was the large dark one, and how its mouth, it just looked angry, like it was shaking and quivering, like, oh, you fucked up.
There was the
little 5-second teaser after like the end credits has gone, and then it kind of does another trailer. There's another one at the end who just looks just immensely furious.
Right, that's the Rathian.
Is it? That's not a Rathian, is it?
It is. Right, I'm going to send you something.
I'm dumb. I've forgotten everything about this game.
And then you see the guy who's looking at it, and then he realizes that something is behind him, and that is this. I'm sending you through.
I'm clicking it. Sorry for the clicking sounds, everybody. What the fuck is that?
So this is the Glavenus from Monster Hunter Generations,
right?
Which is a rather nasty-looking beast with a tail that it rubs on rock. It like slices down rocks and basically it ignites it and sets it on fire. And it throws that around. So,
he is like. It reminds me of from the Diablos summon from Final Fantasy VIII, all red and black and spiky and terrifying.
Look at that boy.
That's a big ass tail as well. That's gonna be a problem, isn't it?
And it's something that Eric's sort of highlighted, but don't you just love how they're teasing these things as they go along? It's just a perfect campaign.
I know what this is. This is a Rathalos, but it's got the venom parasite on it.
Maybe. I'm just super up for that. It looks great.
Thick boy, big fan.
Aric's video underlined stuff like there being the G-Rank Rathalos and Nagakuga armor in the trailer. But yeah, the return of the Glavenus.
Big sexy.
I'm really up for this. Also, I mean, they've showed off all the new bits and bobs that are coming to the individual weapons, which look incredible. But I am most excited about being able to use the slinger and the weapon at the same time. Also being able to fire a grappling hook off the slinger into the monster's face and rush towards it and smack it.
I watched the one where the guy from Monster Hunter was talking about it was the arrow one, I think. It was the bow and arrow.
I haven't seen that one.
You can now fire your slinger arrow while shooting arrows at the same time for a heaven's assault. He called it something like that, and it's like, oh, CJ's going to have a good time.
Well, the thing is, I was watching the one for the hammer, and the person fired off the claw into the monster's face, fired slinger ammo into the creature's face as it was flying towards it to stun it, and then it twats it with a hammer.
The KO King.
Yeah, it was beautiful, but it looks fantastic. And I mean, obviously we've got a new hunting game that's arrived this week, but both the PS4 and Xbox One are still hugely populated on Monster Hunter. Because I was wondering about, I mean, I think the PS4 one maybe, well, they had a week's trial recently.
Yes, they did. Yeah, a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah, and I think that the hype for Iceborne has tied into that as well. Plus, on Xbox, it's on Game Pass now.
Oh, even better.
So, what better way to get people to try it, especially with another free-to-play game being there? I mean, I think it'd be great if maybe it could turn up on Plus for a bit, because then everybody that's buying everybody who's buying it has probably bought it already. I mean, the base game is cheap anyway, but at this point, you're looking towards folks who are going to buy the expansion.
I mean, Iceborne is what, September, right? October?
Yeah, September 6th.
September. All right, so get it on Plus in July or August. Get people get them involved. Give them enough time to kind of make a boy and decide oh yeah, let's get strong. Because there's nothing worse than a DLC pack coming out. You're well, now I need to play the main game for hours to get enough to play the new thing. And I know people aren't that shallow normally, but it gives people a bit of a chance to play along so they can jump into the DLC at a similar, a reasonable level of power.
Well, apparently Iceborne, if you're HR16, you can get access to it, which isn't that bad. But I say stick it on Plus now, because that point that last month where it came on Game Pass was a genius move. On a final Monster Hunter thought,
yours.
Both Uniqlo and Insert Coin have launched their Monster Hunter ranges. And both range from the outlandish and wouldn't buy it to some really subtle stuff. And whilst I have been trying to put a little bit of money away whenever I get paid for the influx of consoles next year, I've bought a bit.
Of course you did. I look forward to your new haircut T-shirt shop.
No, I've got a lot of Monster Hunter stuff. I really have. But yeah, there's some bits which are just, like on the Uniqlo one, they've got one with a big sort of, like the illustrations of the monsters. They've got one with the Jagras on the front, and it's just massive. And
the funny little sort of runic looking ones that they've got. The icons. Okay.
And it's like a sort of salmon coloured shirt with that on the front. I was like, no. But then they've got a one with just a blue and white striped shirt, T-shirt. And the stripes going horizontally, and then in the corner, just a tiny little woven cat, a little palico. I like that sort of stuff. That's kind of cool. So yeah, I may have bought a few of them.
I do not doubt you.
I do love my Monster Hunter.
You do a fan of that.
I do a fan of that, and I do throw. Also, last week I did a 6-day week. And I did more hours than I normally want to do. So I've just decided that those extra hours are going into things like the...
Nice shirt.
And the bomber jacket.
Oh!
Have you seen the bomber jacket?
No, I haven't.
Holy cow.
I'll have a look later. Don't tell me on podcast. I'll look later.
It's nice. It's just basically a black bomber jacket with like a red inside, but it's got like little patches on the front, like the Fifth Fleet, and
okay.
It's nice. So yeah, have a look, see which is for you. If you like the more flamboyant stuff, there's things like that in both ranges, but also some really.
Hello,
really
it's me, Mr.
well.
Flamboyant.
Well, I'm wearing one at the minute, which is a navy blue one from Uniqlo, and there's like a little pocket on the left breast, and it's got the potion icon, which is a woven patch, and then just going inside the pocket is blue mushrooms and a herb.
Aww.
Yeah, so it's it's quite subtle, but I like it.
That's adorable.
I like it.
I like it, it's good. Oh.
So, Dauntless then.
Dauntless?
Dauntless as it's come to be known.
Bit of Dauntless.
Yeah. So, free-to-play Monster Hunter game sprinks out of PC beta and launches on PS4 and Xbox One with cross-accounts and cross-play.
Mental.
Wizardry. Which we will discuss later. We'll detail our individual run-ups to the game, early impressions, hooks and stuff. I was on it first. My previous experience of the game was a singular review I watched on YouTube ages back. It intimated that it was a saccharine Monster Hunter light with blah monsters and environments. And I kind of took that as gold, and it coloured my worldview moving forward. Amongst that, I'd heard they'd adopted the Warframe model of it not being loot box based or pay to win, but inspiring purchases from the community based on goodwill. So, if nothing else, because of that, but it wasn't on my radar. Our friend Gadget Girl Kylie was streaming it, and I tuned in after work whilst eating my dinner the other week. Kylie, who is no fool gaming wise anyway, not to mention hugely knowledgeable when it comes to hunting games, and she was having lots of fun with it, and that's a good litmus test of a hunting game in itself.
I would agree.
It looked fun. I fancied a pop. It's free.
That's a good price.
So meanwhile, Dauntless was proving crazy popular, far more so than the devs could probably have prepared for, with long queues to get in, which, to be fair, got better every day, quite quickly. And I've had no problems beyond that. And I think you've only had the one stumble, really.
The problem, I've had a couple of problems where I think once I tried to log in, I think when America was trying to log on, and I said, you are 69,000th in the queue. I was like, I'm going to play something else tonight. And a couple of times when I think the internet was having a bit of a fart, it's like, you are number 100 in the queue for 10 minutes. Like, okay, something's wrong. This is fine. I'll come back later. This isn't a problem. But no, generally, apart from one or two times, which, again, with the times I'm going on that I'm having the problems are when people appear. Fine. This is fine. It's okay.
I've had the odd point where I'm coming off a mission and it's kind of chucked me back to the Xbox home screen. But those have been like one or two times, really.
I've had one of those, yeah.
But
to
say like the amount of people, I mean, you can obviously prepare for this sort of stuff, or think you're prepared because it's been in beta for the PC for a while. But when you've got not just Xbox One and PS4 coming on, but they're all playing together, that's got to be a bit of a head fudge. So I pitched in for a few hours initially, sort of testing the waters, feeling out the difference between it and Monster Hunter and how it moved me. Gut reaction from those few hours. It feels like, I said this to you, it feels like Rare doing Monster Hunter. It feels much more classic PlayStation than I imagined it to. Like those initial PS1 platformers with the way it sort of moves and bounces and even looks. Even sort of classic PS2 even. That was definitely there in just the way that I couldn't put my finger on why it was that I loved the look of it. Because going in with sort of screenshots and even the bits and bobs that I'd seen didn't really look like my sort of thing aesthetically, but I really like the look of the thing. The cheap touchstone for many is, oh, it looks like Fortnite. But I think there's something more there. Some of the swirls of smoke from the monsters and stuff almost seem a little bit Black Cauldron or something about them. There's something sort of cartoonish but creepy in many ways, and I'm kind of bewitched by that, I think. So yeah, with that arcade feel, with PlayStation leanings, the quick blast funs that I kept sort of bouncing into, I fancied roping you in. So comparisons to Monster Hunter could go either way, but you're all right then. So needless to say, I didn't think it would grab you in quite the way it did, but for the listener, your history with hunting games, the run up to Dauntless, and playing it.
Yeah, I mean, my history with hunting games is Monster Hunter World, and that's pretty much it.
And the hilarity of your love with Monster Hunter World, which you properly did sink your teeth into.
Oh, that's good. I did.
You really didn't like Monster Hunter, and were convinced that you really didn't like Monster Hunter.
I was sure it wasn't for me, and I've tried a few times. I had, and I could appreciate it, but I didn't like it in the hands. Do you know what I mean? Like, I can watch it from a distance, but actually playing the damn thing, I was like, just something wasn't there. Like, it didn't feel like it was for me. And then obviously the demo for World appeared, and again, I was still not really that arsed.
I remember.
And then the demo happened. I thought, I'll give it a go, bugger it. Within 20 minutes.
It was 20 minutes.
It was 20 minutes, bollocks, this is alright, isn't it?
You were, it's always nice when I've known you a while, and when there's that point where sheer joy overtakes everything that you're doing and saying, and you just sort of, I don't know, just sort of rabbiting on almost like stream of consciousness, like this inner monologue turned outwards. I remember on Monster Hunter, it was just been like, right, I'll try the hammer. Oh, that's really good. Oh, I like that. Yeah. Right, let's try this. No, I think I'm going to go with the hammer. Right, and then you're just running off into the distance, and then before I know it, you've got your hammer in a great Jagger's face, and you're like, oh, take that, you piece. And I'm like, this is just... I could just sit on a rock here and watch you because it makes me happy.
Yeah, I found, as is my way, I think I found Boy pretty early, and Boy was hammer. I definitely settled with that really quick. 'Cause again, it plays like how we always do these things. I'll stand next to it, you stand over there.
But it was funny how you bounced into things with that joy, and then you were going like, then all of a sudden you also became the toxic fan base when you were sort of, look, I go to the front and I hit the face, and that's what I do.
I have one job: knock the fucker out. You guys can cut the tail and chop the legs and do the other shit. I have to hit it in its stupid brain.
Hey! I know my job.
Yeah, you stand over there and chuck stuff.
I went with bows on Monster Hunter World and really, really love them. But there's still that feeling with Monster Hunter World, which is both amazing and frustrating as well, is there's loads of weapons I've not even tried, and I really like, even now when I go into either respond to an SOS flare or bring other people in, there's something special about when you've got somebody with a hunting horn that's with you.
Oh, because that's the fun one. I get bored by longswords, like longswords and greatswords. They're the ones that knock me over when I'm trying to do my job. A hunting horn is a true bro and a true friend, and a hunting horn user will never let you down.
No.
They're big, they're strong, they make you big and strong, and then we're all big and strong together, and we all hit it in the mouth, and then we high-five at the end. That's how hunting horns are.
Your hunting horn
and hammer, they're the flamboyant cousin of the hammer, and that's fine.
Yeah. Your hunting horn guy is, if you've broken up with your partner, and you're feeling quite down and quite teary, your hunting horn guy will come in and he'll talk to you, and he'll play you some music, and you just talk about old times. Whereas me with my bow, I'll be watching the football in the other room. That's what I do. I keep my distance.
And occasionally you'll throw something in.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah. My balls. My big metal drop from the sky balls.
Balls, innit? You got a ball. Balls. So yeah, I found my way with hammer pretty quickly, and I basically I think I only used hammer in World. I enjoyed hammer. It felt my way. I tried a few other weapons, and again, like I tried the horn. I couldn't get the hang of it. It's a very not awkward, but like very technical weapon. And I wasn't
there is something delicious about seeing just the sheer velocity of the hammer and exactly how much is coming off a thing's gob.
Like, I mean, my favourite move is probably the sliding down the hill, do a jump, spin, 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 smash, because it usually ends up on the fencer's head, and you can then knock it out again. That was always my favourite, hitting that one off. And I experimented with it. And when we went back to it a few months ago, I'd forgotten there was a charge button, so I was just hitting it with regular attacks. Like, I don't feel as strong as oh my god, I'm an idiot. I have the button that makes me double beef. I forgot about the beef button.
I had to go back into the training section after a while just to realise what I could do and the buttons that did it. But
like I always do with these games, like you would always be cautioning me to watch out, get back. And I'm like, no, I'm hard.
Yeah, and then I from a distance could cover up for your flaws, and you running in
watch
close
me getting
could cover up for mine.
knocked 6 ways to Sunday. Like, where are you now? I don't know. It's hit me really hard.
It works. It always works out really well because you're sheer chaos in the thing's face, and I'm slightly way distracting it and doing damage. And when it comes towards me, that gives you room to be more chaotic and me to just back off a bit.
I can grab a bit of stamina back and begin the assault again.
When it turns to you and you smack it in the face, that's where I then sort of launch into my sort of torrent, and it's in whichever game we've used, even in things like the Division, where I was sniper and you were sort of up close and personal with it.
Yeah, it's our way. It's our system.
That's always worked. But what did you think of the look of World as well?
Oh, I liked it. I liked it a lot. Like, again, I know I've seen
much.
some very not cartoony, but very flamboyant Monster Hunter designs in the past. And these are obviously, again, I think the communities agree, these are a bit more muted compared to what they usually like. But I think they fitted. Like, it feels like a complete world. Like, it's fun, but it's not ridiculous.
It's nice balance, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly. And sure, I love ridiculous outfits. I mean, that's my whole deal, is make the thing look as dumb as I possibly can. But, it feels like you still belong in the world even when you dress up like a goof. It's like the Dragon's Dogma character creator, where you try and make something that looks terrible and it still looks like a human.
Yeah.
And you're like, oh, well, that still looks like someone that I know. So, I mean, I've tried to make them ugly and it hasn't worked.
Also, within that balance, it's just like these incredibly violent, brilliant, terrifying monsters that are not only fighting you, but are fighting one another. And then you go back, you cuddle a pig in a jumper.
Have a nice steak dish.
And I have to say as well, because I've been playing a lot of World anyway, but seeing kind of I've had the points where Beetlejuice has come in and dropped all of his bombs, and where Pickle has turned up and Pickle just lays waste to stuff. And I'm sure the other day there was felt like there was 3 or 4 monsters on screen. I'm sure it had Pink Wrath, Azure Wrath, and Pickle, all just tearing into one another.
It's a bad time, isn't it?
It's just, oh god. And that music, we discussed it the other day, but that music when Beetlejuice turns up just sounds like the world is ending. I think I'm more scared of him than I would actually be fighting him. Because it's just, when I know he's coming in, I can see that shadow, and the music just goes, "The world is ending." Yeah, it's fantastic. Yeah,
every single time, and I've been there for 2 or 3 people's first meeting with Basil, and it's funny every single time. Like, what's happening?
Pete's
what's
please.
That stealth bomber in the? Oh, fuck! Run away! Run away! Run away! Let's just run. He likes us. Let's keep running. So on to Dauntless then.
Yeah.
I'm gonna do some Foley here, right? So I'm gonna explain. So my gaming radar, where I'm sort of paying attention to what's coming out, right? I'm gonna ping, right? So listen for the second ping, and this is where Dauntless was on my radar. Okay, so I'm gonna turn the radar on, and bing. Nothing. It's not there. It wasn't on there. It wasn't on the radar. I didn't even think it was a thing. I
didn't know if you were going to make that drift like Michael Jackson on the last line of "She's Out of My Life," where he goes like, "She's out of my," and then he goes for a 2-week caravan holiday in Skegness, and then comes back and goes.
So yeah, I didn't. It was one of those games that shows up in the middle of an E3 reel for someone, and you go, "Huh," and I mean, like, I've got the book here that I write my E3 notes in, and I'm sure we've written about it once and just wrote, yeah, suppose. Like, it was nothing. I didn't pay any attention. I knew it would come out and it was free to play. I knew it was having server problems. That was it. I mean, I didn't even know it was on its way out until it was physically out on
just
PS4.
Something that was in the news feed for you.
Yeah, it was just something other people were playing. Like, oh, okay, I guess that's the new thing this week. Cool. Oh, the servers don't work. Oh, cool. Okay, I might leave. I might not worry then. And then, as is always what happens, is you sent me an excited tweet. I think. Like, you want to try this?
Excited tweet.
Do you want to try this? I was like, oh, well, maybe. And again, gave it an install because free's free, innit?
Because we hadn't played games for a while. You'd sort of said to me, like, we should probably do this. And I was like, I'd sound like a puncture in a beef ball. I was tried to say beach ball then, but beef ball is interesting.
That was it. Yeah, I know what it was because we arranged to meet up to play Monster Hunter on, like, Bank Holiday Monday. And me being the tosser that I was, thought it was Sunday all day until you text me. Literally, I was like, but Monday's to... Wait. Piss. So like,
you're having a baby and you changed.
My brain is gone. I actually had to play my first baby brain card on that one. I just didn't. I couldn't deal that day. I was like, what? It's not, is it? Shit. Good job you did, because I might not have turned up for work the next day. So thanks.
You're welcome.
So again, we thought, well, we want to play something easier than that. So like quicker to install. And Dauntless is what, 4 gigs, not much. So I was like,
yeah, it's quite light.
Go on and bugger it. Downloaded it. I think we did the first bit together, didn't we? Did we? No, I think I played a little bit by myself, and then I shouted when I was ready.
Yeah, I'd already done the intro stuff and bollocked around the hub world a bit, and that's where when you came in, we were gonna meet up, but you had to do kind of the intro bit to get to the world for us to.
And I needed to do a bit of gymnastics on that because I did the thing. I made my character. Who looks like my Monster Hunter World character as close as I could make it. A lovely black lady with red hair, which is now the character I bring. That's just what it is now. And I made her, and she's looking fine. And we spawn into the game, and it's like, oh, cool, I enjoyed the first cutscene. It was kind of quite charming and full of character. I was like, oh, this is quite good. And my character couldn't move. So I was like, okay, all right, let's just quit and reload that. And I had to make my character again. So I made my character again, this time in 5 minutes, not 20, because I knew what I was doing. And then it crashed. And then I made my character a third time, and that time it worked.
This one was the charm.
This one was the one. And again, this time I made the character in literally 2 minutes. I knew exactly what each option was I wanted to play with. I went dum 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 dum, and there she is. And this time was the one that worked, which was nice. So yeah, it kind of hops you in. I mean, I did the first tutorial level, the first bit by myself, and then we jumped in almost straight away, didn't we?
We did. I mean, the first thing I will interject before I go into that is crossplay. Firstly, if this is a thing that's happening moving forward, and especially if it's exactly like this, I am all over it. I can play on Xbox with friends on PS4 or PC. I can log in on PS4 or PC and play on there as well. It's one account and everybody can play together. It's just, I think we just kept going on about it because it is the clearest that I have ever chatted with anybody on a game ever.
It was as good as this Skype chat with our good microphones, wasn't it? It was this good. Yeah. And I was, again, mystified, like, you sound really clear, but like, I was thinking, oh, I probably sound like I'm talking in a fuzz because I'm using my bog standard earbuds. You're like, no, you sound good too. Like,
no,
really?
No, it was super, super clear. And the nice thing is that there's no real jumping through hoops doing that. You sign up to an Epic account, and then once you're there,
can I just say, add an Epic friend, which was funny every time.
But once somebody's added, then and they come up on your list, you just click A to form a party with them,
or X, then, depending on what machine you're on. That's a thing.
Yeah. or Y, or what's it? Is it triangle?
Press F to pay respects on the PC.
I'm trying to look at my PS4 controller. Yeah, and then just another button just to chat with not just your friend, but when you're in the game, it's chatting amongst everyone, which has had some really nice moments.
It has.
Well, I think you had a doofus on your own, but
we've had one in particular, which we'll talk about a bit later, I guess.
I suppose.
So, yeah, like, I mean, I was so surprised at how easy it was. Like, we literally signed in, like, hello, what the fuck? Like,
I know.
5 seconds, barely even loaded. It's like, and you're going. Like, oh, okay.
Because even when we played on PS4, there's always been the send somebody a message about party chat, accept message on party chat, adrift. The other person has now entered the chat. Oh, hi, how are you? But this, it was seconds.
Yeah,
and we were.
I don't think it set in. I don't think it really worked because we were chatting, but we weren't in the same like physical lobby, like where you run around in the little village in town. It wasn't real until we were stood there next to each other in the game. Like, that's you.
Which was after the first mission that we did together. Then we were in the same world together. So
yeah,
I mean, this is marvelous, and I hope there's a real change of policies from PlayStation on this, because it's as fabulous as it is unexpected, and it has to be the way forward. You can't go back from this.
It's games first, isn't it? It's games first over machines, and that's brilliant. Like, yeah,
100%.
Exclusives are a thing, and that's what people buy the console for.
Yeah,
but for the multi-platform stuff, if it can work this well, why shouldn't it?
Also, for games that maybe have got a low player count, if you've got PC, Xbox One, and PlayStation 4 people on there, surely that's a decent pool to call from and keep a game going as well.
Completely, yeah.
So yeah, the lead into the game, I will say, it's absolutely flawless.
Brilliant.
It's a beautiful cartoon intro, which surprised me at how characterful it is, and how well animated, and how funny. And it drops you in. You fight an early monster with an ordinary sword. Monster isn't too lively or that powerful, but neither are you. It's a nice balance just to get you swinging.
Can we just say what the monster is? It's a fucking beaver. It's a big angry beaver.
It pretty much is, and it just sort of hits you with its tail. And does it do the sort of forward roll?
It does a big forward roll. It jumps and flops its tail on you, and it tries to bite at you with its large, oversized buck teeth.
So it just really gets you moving and hitting stuff, and just doing the basic movements, and kind of just giving you something to beat for a start. But this is where you end up in Ramsgate, not the English seaside town, but
I swear to God, did they not Google it? Like, because that's amazing. Like, and it's like Ramsgate sounds really like mate, it's Ramsgate. Like it. That's amazing.
It is good. So your hub world of Ramsgate reminds me a lot of the Tower in Destiny. There's lots of run around to see and do and explore.
Yeah.
The game leads you around and encourages you to explore as well. There's these little death mark flags all over to collect. There's vendors to meet, some of which will purely impart a hello at first. Others will dress you up and show you a choice of weapons to start with. These folks will slowly bring you into upgrading your gear, plus applying upgrades to it in form of cells, which are unlocked in missions themselves and work a little bit like materia in Final Fantasy.
Yeah.
They give you boosts to health, stamina, stagger ability, wound, apply shield to you after not taking damage for a certain amount of time.
The jewels from Monster Hunter, same thing.
Yeah,
Plug shit on, make yourself cooler.
I think it gets you going a little bit faster than the Monster Hunter with that. In fact, probably with all of that stuff, really.
You get a load quickly, so you can immediately fill up. They might not be the ones you want, but you've got stuff to get going with.
The missions let you get chunks of creature, but you also pick up flowers and jewels, or as we call them,
flowers and jewels,
which can be chucked into making grenades and the such like.
Now, can we just say, how many times it was like, I'm looking over it, have you found it yet? I'm looking up here, and you're like, flowers and jewels. But there's jewels.
I am a sod for picking stuff up.
It's like, it's over there. Okay, cool. Yeah. Be there in a minute. What do you mean? Flowers and jewels.
What did you make of the hub world?
I like it. It's simple. It's easy to navigate. Again, it's got character to it. Obviously, it's all dressed up for the moonflower hunt pass thing that's going on at the moment, which is, a nice little sort of Chinese type look to everything, which is fun. Again, these death marks you pick up are all these daggers stuck in the wall. ninja stars with little ribbons attached, and they give you little points towards your progression. It's cute. Again, you wander around, you talk to people, you kind of get an idea where things are. And I mean, I know that place inside and out already in about 3 days. Like, I know where I'm going, I know where everything is, and it kind of feels like there's dudes there that are going to start saying things later, because there's people that still just say, all right, as you go past. I live in Ramsgate, all right. And then
it does a really good job of giving you the basics of getting your weapons upgraded, getting your few armor sets and upgrading them, and then pushing you on to experiment with more advanced monsters and stuff. But it never seems overwhelming. It does it so flawlessly, and then introduces you to more people and more depth and combos and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, it's simple. Like it's. Some people have called it like a diet Monster Hunter world, and I see that, but like in a nice way. Like, that's not in a bad way at all. It's like the same concept, but with less of the fluff. It's just like,
it's a bit more arcadey, I think.
Yeah, I'd see. Yeah, that's fair actually. Yeah, if Monster Hunter World is Gran Turismo, then this is Burnout.
Yeah, 100%. And I don't know. I mean, I love World, and I've been back on World between playing this and Dauntless, and they feel like different games. I know they're both like in the hunting genre, but
they've got their own take on it, haven't they? Yeah, they've got their own idea of what the game should be. I like that it's got its own personality, its own charm, and the world feels so far like everything clicks together as well. Like, there's a real visual style that goes between everything, and I know you get that in Monster Hunter where the weapons from a certain monster all look the same, and the armors do, and again you can sort of tell where they've come from, which is nice. But there's a real sort of continuity to everything that I've seen so far, and I like that. But with imagination on top as well. It's not just take the monster and turn it into an armor. They've taken some ideas, like the owl monster gives you like a mask that looks a bit like a sort of goggle-faced owl mask, but not like a direct copy. It's like, that's great, clever, I like that. It looks nice.
All of the armors look like somewhere between Watchmen and Battle of the Planets.
Yeah, like supervillain outfits in some cases. I love that.
They're really nice, and I've been nudging at some of the some new ones tonight, and there was one with like massive horns on it, but like the edges of the horns and like the talons and the gloves were all like they were embers that were on fire and stuff. They're like really, really tasty stuff. And when you're going into mission and you haven't seen that armor yet, and you see somebody wearing it, you're like, "What is that?"
Yeah, I want one of those coats. That's a nice coat.
Paddy mentioned it a moment ago, but there is a hunt pass. So the game is free to play, and on a basic level, there are unlocks along the way. The hunt pass gives different gear on top of that. Fancier stuff, I'd say. Plus, it gives you extra benefits at the end of each hunt. It seems fair, and the stuff in the pass is mainly skins, banners, emotes, and a few more kind of core unlocks for cells.
Yeah, it's about 1,000. Like, what's the money in this called? Platinum, something like that. Yeah, which is in normal money £8, but there's a pack on the PSN you can get which is £4. I think on it's very similar on the Xbox as well, like the timely arrival one where it gives you a Terminator intro where you kind of become like and you kind of appear from the floor rather than drop off the thing, which is fun. A bunch of materials and 1,000 plat, which you can then spend on the hunt pass immediately. It's like, well, that cool. And like, I've already got 150 platinum back out of the hunt pass already, and I think I totted up how much you get. I think it's about 300 in there.
So the
if you do everything, the
pass is for 60 days, and it's about like £7 or what?
Yeah,
I think it was a little bit more expensive for me on one than it was for you on PSN.
20p here and there, but again, it gives you like weekly challenges to do, and everything you're doing is giving you these heart seekers, which are like the currency this one uses, I guess. And if you get 100, you level up and you get some stuff. Just good stuff. The stuff I want and the stuff I want to push through and get. There's like a one-handed push-up emote that I quite like.
Yes, it is very good. I got the sort of evil superhero mask tonight. On level 15.
I think I just got that as well myself yesterday.
So the pass covers 60 days. So if it was like £7, I probably had £3.50's worth already. But I'm fine with this.
Yeah.
Hilariously, you not only pitched in for the pass first, but the point that you had, you'd already bought it. You were like selling it to me, and I was like, yeah,
well, we were chatting, and as we were
go
chatting,
for this, and you were just like, yeah, just bought it.
As we were chatting, I'd done it and finished. Like, yeah, cool, I've done it. I've got some more rewards already. You're like, what? Yeah, done. And everything you got before was retroactively added as well, which is nice.
Because I'm sure, I mean, you get various quests around the hub world anyway. But the Hunt Pass quests, I've got the extra ones. I think there's 4 weeklies that are on there at the minute. I've done 2 of them, but each one of those gives you 150 Heart Seekers. Is it Heart Seekers?
Heart Seekers, and 100 is what you need to level up. So it gets you 1 or 2 levels each time, which is nice.
Yeah, so, and there are things like take down 10 behemoths with shock weapons.
Yeah, take down 10 with axes.
Yeah. So yeah, and all of the different quests, I'd say, push you into doing stuff that you wouldn't normally do. Like, I don't know, if you're taking on a...
Well, let me tell you about one. Can I tell you about one then?
Yeah, go
This
for
is
it.
a good time to get this in. The weapon guy gives you a quest called 5 for 5.
Yeah, I've seen this.
5 for 5 has a very simple quest line. It says, kill a behemoth with a hammer. Kill one with a sword. Kill one with an axe. And it uses all the weapons. So the 5 main weapons in the game, the hammer, the sword, the twin blades, the war pike, and the axe. It's just kill one with each weapon. Like, yeah, all right, I'll make a basic one for each one. Go on then. I think I did this a couple of days ago. I thought, oh, yeah, go on then. Which meant I've had a bit of time with every weapon. They're all quite good. And it's not like Monster Hunter World, where I only really liked the hammer. I like things about all these weapons, and I still have my favourites, but I think, like, this isn't a game where I'm going to stick with the same weapon the whole game. I am going to be experimenting a bit more, because I was having a lot of fun. It
is tempting you to do that, though, with all these quests.
Yeah. So should we talk about the weapons, because they're good?
Yeah, talk through the weapons then.
Okay, I'm going to start with Boy. Again, the weapon I picked at the start of the game, as I always do. Ooh, that's a large hammer. I will take him. Thank you very much. Give me that boy.
You have to use a sword for your first few missions.
Sword for the first one mission,
unlock,
and then you unlock it all like immediately. Like you literally have to use it for one mission, and then you get the freedom to pick something.
Yeah.
You get a very basic. You get the first 5, like a basic recruits version of each one, so you can literally go, right, I fancy that. Let's have a go.
Yeah.
So the hammer is your standard stand next to the monster, hit it nice and hard weapon, but it has a few issues. It's got a shotgun in it. I didn't realise this when I picked the hammer. Like, wait, what does triangle do? Boom.
I think actually, looking back, my lead into you to try Dauntless in the first place was, apparently there's a hammer and you can ride it like a skateboard in Back to the Future and somersault out of it and smash something in your gob.
And then I pressed download and I downloaded it. And I didn't even reply. I just downloaded it. Like, that's all you had to say was hammer surfboard. It's got a sweet boost attack. So if you've got ammo on you and you do this boost attack, you will literally launch yourself forward on it, and you can chain it and do it twice, and then turn that into a big old overhand down smash, which is really good if you're trying to get a monster that's flapping around like mad. You can't get near it. You can go boom, boom, smash, and then run away. Obviously, you have to remember to reload your hammer, because if your hammer has no ammo, you get, I think, 4 bullets. If you don't have any ammo, you can't do that. And it's got like an active reload component, so you can just hit R1 and wait like 2 seconds and it'll reload. Or if you hit it in the right little bar, there's a little bar at the top that goes out, and if you hit it in the middle at the right point, it's going to go dum, smash, and you can just get on with it again, which is fun. It's got a really pleasing elemental discharge attack where you hit it 4 times with the regular, I think 3 or 4 times with the regular square attack, and then you hit triangle, and it does this gigantic overhand explosion. It's enormous, and if it hits the monster, it then charges your hammer with like ether charged bullets, which is like ether is like the magic stuff that falls out the ground in this game, and it makes your next shots better. And if you can keep that hammer blam going, which I did on some of the early monsters, I bullied the fuck out of those early monsters.
Have you done the thing? Because I watched the video this morning, and they were saying about interrupting monsters, and it wasn't something sort of I'd done, but the points where you get charged by a behemoth, and I'd be jumping out of the way. You can stand in front and essentially just use the behemoth like a cricket ball, and then just twat it one.
Then let me tell you about. Well, I'll tell you what. In that case, I'll tell you about the way I do that with the twin blades. The twin sides are just two dirty-looking pickaxes that you can swing around quickly. The square attack has like close-up attacks, so you go bam, 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 bam. The triangle kind of swooshes around on chains a little bit Kratos-y in a way.
Okay. Do
you know what? I've only just made that connection. What the fuck? I've literally made that connection 8 seconds ago, and I'm angry at myself for not realising sooner. There's a nice combo move with that where you can attack a couple of times, and then if you hold triangle, it will start spinning them around you like a sort of helicopter motion. Ooh. But like not but like a forwards one. So you're kind of like flipping them back and forth, like. And as long as the monster stays put, you can just sit there continuously inflicting damage on it as long as your stamina holds out, which is fun. The R1 move for the twin sides throws them. So it throws you towards the enemy, and if you're near the enemy, you do this big colossal kaboom smash on them. So it's a real like distance one. So if you're 10 yards away, it will close the distance. If you've got charge power, if you're next to it, it will do a big explosion. I was interrupting guys with that explosion. It was wonderful, and I wasn't trying. It was just sort of happening because I was just spamming the L1 button because it was fun. And again, I think it was who was it? I think it was the. It was either the Shrike. It wasn't the Shrike. No, it was the stony one that I like. Scrave or the Scralve. The stony monster you fight early on. And he was kind of getting ready to do a sort of a ground slam, and I smashed him, and he fell on his ass, and it was the funniest. The funniest thing. Like, fall over, you dick. You've given me a list of behemoths in the Skype chat. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Was that supposed to be subtle? Was I supposed to not mention that?
No, I got them up here because I wanted to reference them.
It was Skarn. I wasn't. Skarn was my boy. Skarn, the man made of rocks. So that's fun. The other way you can do the interrupt that I've made work is with the axe. Now, the axe weapon is relatively simple. The square button does horizontal attacks. The triangle button does... No, sorry, square does vertical. Triangle does horizontal. So squares for your in front of you and triangles for like swinging all around you. You can mix in those two attacks and you can hold certain aspects of each combo. So if you hold the button down, it'll go, oh, smash! And then you can attack again gentle, and then you can do a second, oh, smash! Which is fun when you hit, because again, if the monster stays still enough for you to do it, it's dirty damage. Very, very dirty damage. But the fun thing the axe has got is you can throw it. So you can stand back with the monster, lob the thing, it will kind of fly out, go whoosh, 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 and then, like the new God of War, it will come back to you. Wow!
So God of War fans, you
War.
may well have an in if you've not tried it.
God of Dauntless. If, however, you can let the thing come back to you naturally, or while it's flying, if you press R1 again, you can whip it back to you, but do a jumping overhead explosion smash with it. Now, I was fighting the Shrike, which I believe is the owl.
Yeah,
monster.
The kind of signature monster for it. Yeah.
And this piece of shit, this disgusting piece of shit, will get up in the air and it will fly. It will kind of do like strafing runs across the floor. And I found with some weapons very hard to interrupt. If you throw the axe and see it coming towards you, you just hit that R1 button, you'll jump up, and you'll knock that piece of shit out of the sky. It is filth when it works. You're like, oh, he's on the floor. Time to go hit him now. Oh! I felt very, very... I don't think the axe is my favourite weapon. Like, I don't think I settled with its rhythm very well, but it is probably one of the most damaging weapons in the game, like in terms of sheer, like, numbers. If you can get those charge attacks off, it's delicious. Very delicious. Moving on, there are two weapons left. We'll do the sword first, because the sword's easy. Sword is a big old greatsword. Swing it around. You've got lights and heavies, as usual. When you've hit the monster enough, your special bar will power up, and you can basically turn it into a Moonlight Greatsword.
Yes. So Dark Souls fans, you may well have an in.
You can throw magic at the thing. Makes your attacks better, you're a little bit faster as well, and I think if you press R1 while you're all powered up, it will let you do a cool little dash, so you can close the distance quickly and then keep your assault up, which is kind of fun. I've only really played with the sword a little bit, so I haven't got much to say about the sword, but it was fine. It was simple.
Is the next one mine?
No.
Oh, okay. You're leaving me room to jump in.
I'm allowing you the floor at the end. The last melee weapon is the war pike. which is a Dutty Spear. It is a Dutty Spear. That one is fun. The regular attacks on that are kind of like pokes and jabs. Normal pokes and jabs.
It's your Darth Maul weapon, isn't it?
Basically, yeah.
So Star Wars fans, you may well have an in here.
Fuck you. So your regular attacks, I believe, build up a charge. And if you get hit, your charge goes down. So your charge bar will go up, and I think it's got 4 different levels. If you can get it all the way to the top, I mean, you can do it when you're on a lower level anyway, but whenever you press R1, it will store that charge in the pike, and I think you can store up to 3 of them, and the icon will glow more depending on how sort of strong you stored.
Okay.
You can then use triangle to unload that charge as as an explosion sort of
I got you.
pow. Again, I've only used this a little bit. I couldn't quite find the rhythm with it, but I did only do the one mission to get this quest done and move on because I was in a little bit of a rush that night. But I would like to go back because I did enjoy the act of like stab, 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 dodge, stab, 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 dodge, stab, 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 full power, store that motherfucker.
And it is a very quick game. I mean, just to get this across as well. I mean, I think Monster Hunter World is probably a little more cerebral, maybe.
Yeah.
And this is just super fast.
It's arcadey. It's got that sort of hit, bollocks.
Yeah.
And that was a thing that we said several times. Like, oh no, I didn't mean it. So yeah, the Warpike's fun. Again, I like the idea of it. I haven't had much time to get used to it. I mean, the hammer is obviously my favourite because I love hammers. But I did have a good time with those twin sides. I did enjoy them, and these were like baby ones, so they could have been a lot stronger. But like every weapon, each of the 5 weapons that the main melee weapons I've tried, has something. It's a bit different. It's got its own rhythm, its own idea. You're not just kind of like, I'm going to hit it slightly faster with this weapon. They've all got their own sort of special power, and I like that. I like that they're different enough, but there's not too many. Like there's no doubles. They've all got their own unique identity, and it works without being too complicated. I think the problem that I have with some Monster Hunter weapons is I look at the combo lists for them, and I'm like, I don't remember any of that shit. Like, that's too much. I can't remember all this. Like, some of the more technical weapons, like the lances and stuff like that, I look at them and I'm like, I don't understand this. Like,
a little bit of decision paralysis. Whereas, and here, if you go into your menu screen, any point you can look at the combos for a weapon.
And it's one page. It's never more than a single page. It's right there. You've got maybe 9 or 10 things you can do, and that's it. And that's fine. Like, that's a good amount of verbs for a game like this.
I mean, that thing I was saying about Monster Hunter being a lot more cerebral, that's probably bollocks, to be honest. They're different, and if I try and compare them, even though they are both hunting games, I struggle to kind of find this one is a little more like, they're just different flavours. And that, to me, was a point of fascination, and it still is a little bit, to be honest.
Yeah. Well, there's one more weapon, isn't there? And I'm going to let you. And I've tried this now. I've had some fun with it, but I'm going to let you talk about this one because this is your boy, isn't it?
So, at first, your melee weapons are dealt with by a beardy man who is very jolly and very Santa-like. But there is some sort of sullen, white-haired emo boy that is elsewhere in Ramsgate, who will allow you access to Ostron repeaters. Now you have to get up to level 5 with the other weapons, or one of the other weapons, to gain access to the Ostron repeaters. These are dual pistols. They are ranged goodness. I knew going in that they start off ineffective, certainly more so than the sword. I'd leveled up by that point, but I was up for playing the long game. And I was more than up for playing cowboy. So you Western fans, you may well have an in here.
I'm leaving.
So with the Ostrons, you hit right trigger and you shoot. You hold it down and you shoot. You reload with R1 on
I think.
The PlayStation, yeah. And going back to my Xbox controller, because that's the thing I can visualize, B gives you a dodge. As you go along, you build up meters for X and Y. Each shot that you take with the Ostron repeaters increases your lantern charge, which is something we haven't really gone into, which can be activated with L1.
That's a special extra thing you can add on, regardless of your build.
So on Ostrons, X gives you a mega shot, Y initially cast out a buff onto the ground, which when I or other players walked into it, increased damage. This could be stacked further if I reloaded close to the monster. I eventually traded that buff out for a mine, but I get the impression there's still a fair bit more to come in regard to sort of specials and stuff.
I've seen other stuff on that floor. I'm sure I have.
Yeah, I mean when you advance the guns as well, because there's loads of different bits to them, like different barrels and different effects that you can put onto them. My first sort of advance on those, I was getting these frost sprites that appeared at the end of each magazine.
Oh, in the eclipse, I remember. Yeah, they're like these little icicles would appear in the air. Like, what the fuck are they?
Yeah, and then there was, I think that I got another one where my final shot did like a huge amount of damage and stuff. But when you have the guns out, you can't run. You can only walk. To run, you have to holster them. So you need to anticipate a movement you can dodge out of, or holster them and run to a new place on the battlefield and advance from there. It's a nice piece of strategy, because you could say that on the one hand they maybe are a little more casual because they are like a distance weapon, but then you balance out those combos of when to reload and doing your mega shot and your mine or your buff, and it's
move. Can I ask you a question?
I find it's really tactical, yeah.
So how long did it take you to find the dodge button? Because I definitely heard you go, "Oh, I can dodge."
Yeah, I think I hit it by accident.
And this is like a disgusting amount of hunts in at this point.
It was a good one. I think I hit it by accident. I wasn't thinking about it. I think I was so taken by the fact that I could only walk with the guns and then holstering them and running away. But there's still a differential between knowing when you can dodge out the way of a monster or when you have to anticipate running.
I like the touchstone you gave to me when you were describing it. It's like fucking Gungrave.
That was another one of my taglines to try and get you in.
Sold.
Thing that Paddy likes. Hey, it's got that.
So, fans of Gungrave.
Yeah, you might have an in here. I think we're covering a lot of bases here. Is it the because the one that I think that I got used to the difference between running and dodging was it might be the Embermane, which is kind of this or a Blarf doggy, as I like to call it, because early on it doesn't. The early versions of it don't do a lot, and then when you get
the real boy
further in, it vomits out fire across the battlefield.
Yeah,
and then it sometimes it will do sort of these three arcing that kind of splotch on the and lava up on the battlefield. But you know the point where it's going to vomit, because it just goes the other side of the battlefield, and then you just hear like just like this sort of projectile flame vomit goes all over the and I know when to run from that. You get a decent clue for when that's going to happen.
I haven't got the measure of that yet. I've only fought the big boy the one time, and that was the fun time. I've played with the repeaters as well. I like them a lot. I like that the camera's different completely. Like, it's not like an over the top action game. It brings it more sort of behind the shoulder when you're fighting it, which is fun. I think calling them pistols, I think that's selling them short. These are shotguns. Like, they do more damage when you're nearer, and it encourages you to be nearer. It's not a range weapon. It's a fucking melee weapon, but you have to aim it. That's what I think this is, because you get bonuses when you reload next to the goddamn guy.
Yeah,
I would be angry if I didn't reload. If I was going to reload and it moved, I'd be like, "You wanker!"
That's a cheeky trick, because when I got the initial thing on my Y button where I was throwing down a buff, and it shows a single sword on the floor, that like a computerized sword that you can walk into and get a buff. But when I'd gotten in close to a monster, I'd fired, reloaded next to a monster and fired, then did the same, and then chucked out that buff. There were 3 swords on the floor.
Yeah, it empowers the more you do it, yeah.
It was then going to stack those buffs on top of the buffs that I'd already got.
Yeah.
So there is something quite mindful about them, and you're absolutely
so hang
right.
on, if we decided that the Austrian repeaters are the hunting horn of Dauntless.
I don't know if I mean, I got into my head that they would be the equivalent of the bow.
Yeah,
and
the heavy crossbows, or the heavy machine gun, maybe.
I haven't got enough experience with those to make the comparison, but my reason for seeking these out was I haven't played a hunting game with pistols before, so I thought that would be a nice little in. But it's been so much fun to play, and depending on the monster that you're fighting as well, can really relate to how much success that you have with them. Because if there's something that's chucking out loads of stuff or is being an absolute arsehole, at times that can be quite difficult. But if you've got a decent team that are hammering into it, and you get room to be tactical, they can be really great.
I think as well, like, it does encourage not just like fighting the monster, being aware, like some of the later monsters. There's one called Stormclaw, which is a big electric wolf, and one of the things he does is sort of he runs around in a circle and drops these like electric pylons in the ground that form like this electric cage.
Oh, he's really good.
Which is great, and if you are ignoring those, you will be penned in and you will get shocked and you will die. Whereas if you start attacking the posts, 3 or 4 big heavy attacks will get rid of them and knock them down. So it's not just about attacking the monster, it's about looking around you, seeing what he's done to the world and dealing with the shit that he's made. There's one, the Chernarg, something like that, the big fiery turtle looking thing, which has these horrible flame jets on like the 4 corners of its shell. If you attack it enough in those corners, it breaks them and they won't fire anymore. The Gnasher, the beaver, if you cut its tail off, it can't do the tail jump attack anymore, which is brilliant. Cripple the damn thing.
Have you fought the Valamir yet?
No, I'm still at the Nazaga, Chernabog, Karnak sort of level, which is like the second-ish level.
The Valamir is essentially a disco dinosaur. The Valamir doesn't move particularly well, but it can teleport entirely, like it's being beamed up to the Enterprise, and then appear elsewhere in the battlefield. It's got this big sort of crystal on its forehead, which it fires off a massive beam with. But moreover, it sends out these little disco balls into the battlefield, which then rotate and fire beams across the battlefield. Ooh. Like they rotate and fire these beams, and there's a number of it around it. And the Valamir covers itself with a crystal shell.
I've taken that picture, the link you sent me. He looks like a big beetle.
Yeah, it's a really good fight. The Ostrons are great for taking out the disco balls, but if they've been kicked out whilst you've been quite close to the monster, you might not realise they're there. Oh. So whereas with the Ostrons, obviously, it's great to start stacking and reloading next to the monster, and the monster doesn't move that quickly. But the things that it sends out can be sent out beyond where you are. Ooh. And can immediately impact. And oh god, tonight I fought... Oh god, what was it? The Riftstalker, which is like some sort of crazy Manx cat that just flies around the battlefield. It sends out portals, which it runs into and then runs out of. And at a certain point, it puts one on the floor and sinks into it. The whole battlefield kind of goes into this purple bubble, and there are portals inside the bubble, like numerous ones, and you don't know which one it's going to run out of. Ooh. And as the fight goes on, it could be firing like these projectile kind of goop balls. And if you get hit with them, they kind of curse you, and to get rid of it, you have to hit the creature. But it's moving that quickly. And it absolutely handed me in my arse. It was I've got a quest to get, or 2 different quests to get things from Riftstalkers, and it is so fast. And I think this is something that I hadn't appreciated about the game when I was judging it early on, because the early monsters are quite placid, I guess, and to bring people in and give you the example, like the Skarn, like the first version, I'm sure it just kind of rolls over a bit at you and does the bit where it sends out some of its rocks and brings you in, like tries to suck you into the vortex. The second version of it is slightly sort of tougher, and the third one, it like jumps up and it raises all of its spikes above it and then throws them into the ground. And it doesn't matter if you're near them, then those rocks will spike up from the ground wherever you're standing. So you've got to anticipate when it's going to drop and know the timing of when it's going to do it, so you can dodge out of the way. And it's still doing the vortex attacks. It's still doing other stuff. And when you think you know a creature, and then you get a more advanced version of it, you know nothing.
Yep. This is the real boy.
I've quite liked fighting the. Have you fought the Carabac, the sort of giant wasp thing?
I love the Carabac.
Where it turns like almost invisible at a certain point. That's amazing. And it
just
chucks out
like you can see the bastard, but not enough that it's easy to follow.
And it does that sort of that linked attack where it will throw out the equivalent of like throwing stars, and then will jumping with a kind of throw of itself and its talons to the left, and then a throw of itself and its talons to the right. It will occasionally send out bees towards you.
The bees are fun. You either have to attack yourself to get rid of them, and you have to attack like 6 or 7 times, or somebody else can attack you one time and they go. So if you're helping your friends out, you can get the bees gone quicker.
Because this is the thing.
Brilliant.
I mean, my initial judgment was that these monsters didn't have the same kind of weight or character as something from Monster Hunter, and that was dead wrong. Dead wrong. And you know, at first I was like, it's not really got the same. It's something that's I think maybe Monster Hunter World is a bit more responsive, and all of those initial impressions were wrong. And that evolution of the creatures, and when you get into you can seek out a monster on its own, or you're encouraged to go into patrols where you can get a monster from a certain element. So it might be.
I love patrols. I love it.
Yeah.
It's the best button to press, and you get more shit.
Yeah, you get, if you do 5 or 6 of them a day, you get extra loot as well for doing so.
It's kind of like doing strikes in Destiny. It's like a nice, easy daily thing you can do. You can get a nice cheeky bonus every now and again.
Yeah, but often you kind of. There was I like when the quests throw you into doing something like that. But because you've got a quest that leans into doing it differently, it puts you on edge. Like, you know, I had a thing where I had to go in with, I had to destroy a certain amount of creatures with, these 2 separate creatures with neutral weapons. So normally, if say you're going in against a frost creature, you take an ice weapon, and you know, you balance.
You try and rock paper scissors it. Yeah, you're fighting a terror monster. You bring a lightning hammer.
You try and balance it. And the first one I was doing, like there was all of my party fell in battle. I was the last man standing, and for some time, might I add. And when I took the things down, I could have punched the moon. And the second challenge was much easier in that regard. It was different beast. Everyone was still standing. But man, that first one. Even today, I've been doing my weekly Hunt Pass challenge of taking down 10 beasts with shock weapons. But shock weapons weren't a perfect match for the creatures I was fighting. But I was up for edging that challenge on whilst ticking the boxes for a few other challenges at the same time. Like I was taking down like Ember Mains and stuff with shock weapons, which wasn't really great. But I wanted to.
It was neutral. It wasn't deficient, but it was neutral.
Yeah, it was a powerful weapon, but I like the challenge of taking on 2 separate challenges at the same time, because I thought I could do it.
Oh no, which is the difference, because I just wailed on the easy boys for a while.
Did you?
I bullied the fuck out of that Nasher. I bullied him so hard. I could get him dead in a minute and a half.
And here I was being a boy.
I was still boy. I was quick boy. I got that mission done in an hour.
I'm sure that because I was doing multiple challenges, and it was either 2 or 3 of them I was doing at the same time. I was trying to take down, I think, Ember Main, so a fire behemoth.
Fire lion thing.
But I was trying to get kill a certain amount of behemoths with shock weapons, and I think I had to ramp that up a bit because I needed a certain drop from the more powerful enemies to get another thing done to be built, I think, or to finish like a barrel on one of the weapons. So I sort of took that on. I was like, right, well, I can fight that monster. I can take in this weapon and just sort of trying to do as many at once. And it was a nice challenge, and it was fun to see how it pushed me, I guess. So yes. I mean, as another aside here as well, collecting names. Our ongoing mission to find the funniest and most inventive names, playing alongside us on multiplayer games. The God tier is still back on the original Destiny with the brilliant Battle Milk, as well as OMG a Kebab. Dauntless introduced one of these early on with the God tier name Capri Sun Dealer. which is great. And there was a point the other night where Paddy had to go, and literally within about 2 missions I discovered, and these 2 people were in the same game. Now the first one, as an appetizer, if you will, was "Don't even try me, mate."
What?
Which is the appetizer.
Okay.
Right? 2, are you ready for this?
Go on.
Joining the ranks of Battle Milk and OMG Kebab is, in all caps, I Turbo I Had Nando's.
Oh, that's incredible. I Turbo I Had Nando's. Fuck me. Wow.
I screenshotted it.
Oh, I'm glad you kept that. I'm glad you held on to that for a while, because that's wonderful.
But I looked at the screenshot again today, and the 4th person hadn't come in yet, so it's just me. Don't even try me, mate. And I Turbo I Had Nando's. And I was genuinely blathering myself, and I wished you'd still been on for that, because I remember how much fun Capri Sun Dealer gave us.
Do you remember the one where we logged on and the first person logged in and we both had a little cry? The name was Right in the Nods.
Right in the Nods.
Right in the Nods. And that was a couple of minutes of, okay, I need a giggle. Okay, that was too good.
There's a certain, like Battle Milk, I would drink. Because Battle Milk sounds like it's a thing like, do you like Wonder Bread? Then try Battle Milk. It's got a certain genius to it. OMG a Kebab is, again, there's something sort of quite, I can't get into the mindset of that being a username, or just somebody go, oh, what shall I call myself on PSN?
The one I used to like from the one I found in Destas that I really liked was Not Again Mozart.
That is pretty decent.
Which is wonderful.
But I Turbo I Had Nando's is just, I can't.
That's a methodology for life, isn't it? Like let's think. Like, this player comes in, you're like, I wonder what his skills are like. I Turbo, I Had Nando's, we'll be fine.
I mean, talking to somebody that genuinely loves chicken as well, and loves Nando's, and now I'm reevaluating my life, and I'm thinking, I do feel quicker when I had chicken and chips.
When I had Nando's, I Turbo.
This is it. I Turbo I Had Nando's. And the thing is, if you write it down and you put it in your wallet, if you're having a bad day, it still tickles you. So yeah, I genuinely love that.
Can never go to Nando's again. Can never go to Nando's again.
No.
Finish the food and go, bye. What's about you? I Turbo, and just leave.
Or just zoom in past the queue.
Yeah.
Do you have a favourite monster thus far?
Sort of. 'Cause I like a lot of them.
Yeah, me too.
The one I liked in the early game one I really liked Skarn, the rock lizard thing that threw its rocks off, like it's like a big turtle at times.
Yeah, and he gets good.
It was fun. I liked that one a lot. It was a fun one to fight. It had some fun ideas with its rocks. It was kind of flinging them around all over the place and turtling up and doing that thing where it goes on its back legs and goes to charge up, and if you hit it in its tummy, it falls on its back like, oh no! Like, that was funny every single time.
And when it throws off its rocks and exposes kind of the lizard belly underneath is really good.
Yeah. I think I really like Karabak, the invisible wasp.
Well, that is really good.
Again, my terror monsters, I seem to like the terror ones quite a lot.
Do you remember when we first fought Scrove though? The big owl.
Oh God, yeah.
That was so amazing with the massive wingspan and stuff. It was really quite something.
Several kinds of bollocks.
Shrike, wasn't it?
Shrike.
Yeah.
And I did like that when we fought the Embermane and we met that lovely Scottish gentleman.
Yeah, we met some nice people playing this, because when you're speaking in the game, you are speaking in the game.
Yeah, it's not just party chat. You're with everybody in the thing. And me and you, naturally, you hear another voice, and we clammed up for about 3 minutes and just didn't talk. Like, oh no, another human.
But they were lovely. They kept sort of talking sort of back to us and being just really nice
we were singing
and chatty. we were just having a good time. And I don't know, online has become a place where most people don't talk to each other anymore for reasons that we've seen a million times, that folks can be toxic. But it was just lovely when the people that did talk with us were genuinely sweet people who were having a great time playing the game. And that's a wonderful advert for the game as well.
And it might be said, this one lovely Scottish gentleman, I was on a PS4, you were on an Xbox One, he was on a PC. What the actual fuck?
We kept saying that to ourselves throughout all of it, because it just feels great, and it doesn't feel company focused, and it doesn't feel full of bullshit. It just feels like something it's the way it's meant to be, and we've not taken that for granted throughout the time we've been playing, as well as we've said before, the sheer clarity of the chat.
It's
and how
bonkers.
quick it is to get going.
I never trust normally in-game chat. The Destiny one was terrible. Like, it would always glitch and cut out quite a lot. This is crystal clear. The only time it cuts is when it loads, and I keep forgetting. So we press X, we're going through the 100.
I'm going to go in now.
Get this all stuff, and so here's the thing about, and it goes quiet. Like, oh fuck, yeah, I did it again. And we come back to town like, hello, forgot again. Sorry.
So yes, indeed.
Dauntless, man. I tell you what I do like as well. Last thing I like is when you get to, I think it's the danger meter at the top. If you're getting hurt a lot, that goes up. If you get to 100%, you enter final stretch moments.
And it removes all chances of healing yourself.
Yeah, you can still heal yourself with your items, but you can't help other people up anymore. You can only use your own self revives, of which you only have 3, and you might have already used those. The monster, you either kill it or it runs away, or you will die. And again, with the lovely Scottish gentleman, we were cheering on, what was his name? Dat Captain or Dat Chief?
Oh, Dat Chief, who you kept calling Del Chief.
Because I thought it was an L. And it was us 3 on the floor cheering on this one last mighty boy. Like, come on, mate. And he beat it, and the cheer that went up.
I know, it's just...
son!
I hope they heard that.
I really do, because I felt like we were helping with our come on, sons.
There was something back on Monster Hunter 3 Ultimate on Wii U that the people that were meeting in the lobbies and going in, there was genuinely this wonderful community around it, and I think I only had 1 or 2 people on there who were arseholes, and most of it was Monster Hunter enthusiasts who just wanted people to enjoy the game and help people get better gear and let people understand the game a little bit more. And I've mentioned this a few times, but there was somebody, like a little kid, that was on, and they were, at first I was thinking, is somebody just playing Land Before Time quotes down the thing, 'cause like this really cute voice, but the kid was not only treating us like we were the Avengers or something, and was like cheering us by name on individually, but they were talking to the mum, and they were telling the mum what was happening, and when they get this monster, they can build this item, and they really want to get this sword, and it was the sweetest thing. I was like, Nintendo, if you could bottle that up and say that is the Nintendo experience, that would be it. It was just gorgeous. And I got sort of flashbacks of that, playing Dauntless and having these chats with just really good people.
It's just nice. Just nice.
So in conclusion, I'd say Dauntless is a hunting game, certainly, but it's not copying off Monster Hunter. Influenced, absolutely, but as I understand it, the devs are huge Monster Hunter fans. And the game was in production way in advance of World being announced. It's arrived on console at a point where World is promoting Iceborne, and there's a snowdrift. Before September, as well as an audience that, if you're a fan of snow, maybe we'll have an in here.
Fuck you.
So between all of that, there's an audience that has an appetite for hunting games now. What with is it 12 million that World's done?
Got like 187 million, I think, at this point. Yeah.
Plus, free to play is always going to get a decent audience sticking their heads around the door and peeking inside. It's keeping them there. I think it's going to bring a new audience to World, and with World having done that amount of copies, World's audience will come and have a look at Dauntless. Dauntless is different enough to stand its ground. I don't love World less because of Dauntless, and going back to World afterwards just made me appreciate that different flavour I mentioned earlier. I can literally go from one to the other and don't feel like I'm playing the same game.
Yeah. I think you got it right earlier. Like, it's an arcade and a sim. Like, they're both good expressions of the idea, but they're different. But the differences that are there work for the style they've gone for.
They are what they are, and I think if you try and compare them and as to what one is and what the other is, that's the biggest sort of headfuck there is between them. They're just two really, really great games, and it's a joy seeing the points in games where you just run off and you're super into it and you're going through menus, and it's been a pleasure listening to you that happy when we've been sort of playing together and you've been that into it. It really took me back, and it's been part of the experience of why I've enjoyed it so much, because it dissolves the day on the one hand, but this is what gaming is about.
Having fun with your mates, isn't it?
Well, we've never wanted on this podcast to ever talk about to ever slag things off. We always want to do, it's a pleasure for us.
It's an unspoken rule, no bummers. Like, it's an unspoken rule.
Yeah, we've always got stuff to talk about, but I'd always rather talk about the things I love than sit here for an hour and a half and just tear something a new arse.
It's like in the end of the year shows we do. We don't have a worst category anymore because that's just
no.
Who cares?
So, if anything, playing Dauntless has made me realise how much I love the hunting genre. And it's made me curious to expand my outlook further. I adored Soul Sacrifice, Delta on Vita to pieces, and I super miss playing that game. And I remembered that Sony's handheld celebrated it. There was, I'm sure it was called something like, not Future Wars, but there was kind of a science fictiony one. There was Taukaden. There was God Eater. Playing the Code Vein network test inspired me to pick up God Eater 1 and 2 remasters on PS4, as well as God Eater 3. So I'm excited to jump into a dystopian anime future with big weapons and goopy monsters that bite out of those weapons, and boobs. There will probably be boobs.
Boobage.
So yeah, I've kind of come to terms with the fact through Dauntless that I don't just love Monster Hunter. I really love the hunting genre, and I'm excited to try other stuff, because there's that realization that there can be more. It's not all the same games with like slight variations or just a different theme. That there could well be these different flavors that I enjoy just as much. Yeah. So how would you conclude your time with Dauntless and your opinion on it, I guess?
So again, you kind of don't want to keep comparing it to Monster Hunter World, but it's the nearest touch point I've got, not having much experience with the genre. Like, Monster Hunter World is like a big monster film. Dauntless is a really good cartoon. It's Samurai Jack. You know what I mean? It's colourful, and it's got charm, and it's got a hunt season pass thing that doesn't seem particularly evil, which is nice. It's got an emote shop where you can buy stuff. You haven't got to. It's a bit expensive, sure, but you haven't got to buy it. It's just something extra there. You can earn some of this stuff randomly as you go. I like the monsters. They feel more like like mutated versions of animals. Like the initial ones you get are like a beaver, a lion, a lizard, an owl, a wasp. Like there's very clear lines there. Yeah, there's real clear lines between I had a quick look at the Void Seeker thing you talked about earlier, the Void Walker. Is that what it's called?
Riftstalker.
That's the one.
It's a sod.
It looks like a sort of bat cat.
It runs so quickly, and like I say, it's running between portals. So you'll see a portal open up, then another portal open up, and it will run out of one and into another. But it may well be have put the other portal behind you and just be charging you down. So it's getting shots in on the thing, and then there's the point where you just go into that sort of soupy purple umbral bubble. And there's just multiple portals, and it's chasing at guys.
It's fun. It's got ideas. Like the monsters have ideas about them. It's not the same. Fight this thing. Like the way that the wasp turns invisible. I actually did a proper out loud "What the fuck" when I did that the first time.
You can just see it.
It's like it's only rendering its specular map and nothing else.
Yeah, it's
like you absolute shit bug.
And you're going by the numbers that you manage to fire off if you hit it. But there are still certain points where I'm like, where is it? All right.
And do you know what? I always tell myself, because again, my time for gaming is not as large as it used to be. And I always kind of tell myself, like, I haven't really got space for another, like, life-consuming game. Like another play it every night, play it 3 hours a day kind of game. I always tell myself I haven't got that. But then this has come out, and so far I've played at least 2-3 hours of it every single day since it's been out. Among other things, like, I've been playing Final Fantasy VII while on an exercise bike the other day. That was fun. But
you can just play it as a quick blast as well. If you just want to have jump into a mission and do 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 15 minutes, depending on what you want to fight or what sort of weapons you want to use.
It's lunch.
You can bounce into it in that almost like arcade-like quick blast.
It's snack-sized. You can always feel like you're progressing and earning something that's useful.
It does devour hours if you let it, and you get involved in these things. The one person that I think I wonder if they're playing and how much they're enjoying it. I remember how much Darren Gargett from Kane and Rince was like a super huge Rare fan. And this feels like a Rare game.
I can see that. Yeah,
and I just wonder if he's playing and if he's kind of digging that style and that look. And I still can't come to terms with the art style because there's something sort of quite cartoony but a little bit off in the best way about it. And then some of the monsters, and like I say, the smoke that kicks up on the ground and the effects feel hand drawn. They feel like a black a black cauldron, or maybe even like a degree of dark crystal about them. And there's just something, I don't know, I can't put my finger on it, but it keeps me staring as I'm playing it.
The sort of thing you'd see come up in like an 80s cartoon.
Yeah, this
in a way.
Again, like I say, I can't get my head around the art style.
The Shrike particularly feels like it's from a cartoon.
Yeah, I can't get my head around the art style in general in the same way as I'd stare at something like Warframe because it seemed wonderfully sort of slightly off kilter a little bit. And some of the characters that you've got in the hub world as well. The lass that sorts the armor for you, buff lass, is amazing.
She's great. She's like dwarfish is the best way I can describe her, but not like in terms of height, in terms of like muscularity.
Yeah, she could sit you on your ass. Absolutely.
Oh, she knocked your shit off.
Yeah. But I'm smitten with this game, and to say that we both, in fact, you did it before me, but we both jumped into that Hunt Pass, and it is the equivalent of £3.50 a month. And if at the end of another 35 days' time, they've got another brand new theme for the hub world, they've got a different theme for the skins, and I don't mind giving them another £7 of my money for me to chase that stuff, because I don't know, it just seems like a no-brainer. And I'm going towards, there's on 30, because there's 50 levels of the Hunt Pass that you can do, and there are 50 levels on the free one as well, but they start to space out the rewards a little bit
not
further
all can
down.
give you stuff.
You don't get the same sort of rewards as you do with the pass, but on 30 of the Hunt Pass is a shader that looks so nice, like a really gorgeous shimmering crimson blood red. Ooh. Which just, I need it. And also you can colour the costumes that you get, and you can transmog them so you can make them look like other things if you like.
I love that.
But I got like the Nasher set, which is one of the early like neutral sets that you get, and I coloured it pink with like a pink ruff, and it just feels bohemian. It feels Bowie.
It looks right.
It looks wonderful, and I'm sure there was a point where we were playing, and there was somebody standing next to me that had done exactly the same thing. They'd gone, right, I'm going to colour that jacket pink, and the ruff is pink. So,
whereas me, I've gone all orange all the time, as is my way.
But it's a fantastic game, and it still feels like we've not quite scratched the surface.
It's free, and it's magic.
It does the magic things.
I was on a PlayStation 4, and you were on an Xbox One, and we were playing the same Vimeo game.
Do you remember when I took a picture of something and you went, I heard that?
Yeah,
I heard an Xbox noise through my earphones.
It was weird.
Yeah. This game is great, and I just hope more and more people play it. And that mentality of, let's just let people have a good time, and if people essentially give us £4 a month and we give them loads of stuff back, thank you very much for £4 a month.
Here's the thing, right? It's not one of these games that comes out and it comes out at £40, and then within 6 months it's gone free to play and it's dead. Nah, they said just put it out, let you play it. It's free. There's literally, apart from hard drive space, there's no cost. Just try it.
I mean, the only criticism I could say, and it is just an obvious one, is that when you're in the hub world, at times it can get a little janky at times, but you realise what it's doing and how many people are playing, and that it's doing so across PC and Xbox and PS4. And you're like, it's there at first. You notice it because you're trying to get around and do stuff. It doesn't really bother you after a short amount of time, because most of the time you're just getting back, you're seeing what kind of rewards you've got. You're getting those rewards, then you're diving straight into your menu and you're figuring out what you need to do to achieve a quest, and then you back out there again.
Yeah. Go smash a face.
I just think it's super addictive. It's really engaging. And
they could have put this out for 30-40 quid, no question.
100%. And I'm glad they didn't. And I think that, again, if people are having a good time and they're not forcing people to pay money. But I mean, Gadget Girl Kylie today was saying that she's bought some platinum because she wants to support them a little bit more, and she's bought the cat design for the banner.
Yep.
Which is fair enough, and I think that if you foster a community like that, you're going to get people that will give you the benefit of the doubt, and they will give you their thoughts and opinions, and it's all coming from a good place, and I think that's. It's pretty cool.
I agree.
We both like this game.
We both like it a lot. We've laughed our heads off every time we've played.
Yeah, we genuinely have laughed out loud, and also iTurbo Nando's is just it's into the god tier. It's into the top 3.
Straight up there.
It is a beaut. Although top 4, let's not rule out Capri Sun Dealer. Anyway, thank you for listening to us ramble on about this, because we are dead excited about it, and it's really good. Please play it. Thanks for listening, and we'll see you
CJ,
for our E3 shows.
Yeah, what's next? Fucking E3, innit?
E3 shows.
Oh god,
excited!
I'm excited.
I break up on Saturday afternoon, and then I'm not back until a week on Wednesday.
See,
so
you're brilliant, because I've been a dumb fuck. I'm working the whole weekend. I'm working most of the days it's on. I will not be a sleepy boy this year.
It's going to be really interesting to see where Microsoft go this year, because they reckon they're going big. They've got a 2-hour show. They've got the floor to themselves. I'm just curious as heck. And we know that the new consoles are next year. but it's just this is my favourite week of the year.
Yeah.
I book this off as soon as I can at work. So
Excited.
yes.
But yeah, next week we're back to a regular schedule, nearly almost. Yeah, look at that.
With James Carter joining us again.
Lovely James, always.
Love you, lovely man.
Lovely James.
Man.
Cool. So yeah, thanks everyone for listening. I guess we'll see you soon, and we'll all sound really tired because E3's long.
Yeah, I have to get into. Do you know how wonky my sleep pattern is?
Yeah.
I go to bed at the time that toddlers do. So I will have to move into American hours, which is the exact opposite of when I'm usually at it. But Jeff Keighley starts at 5 o'clock in England on Sunday, and Big Jeff is E3 shows kicking in are the start of everything. So
I think I can get home in time.
Yeah, and then Microsoft's at 9.
Well, geez, here we go. Right then.
Right.
Thanks everyone for listening. We'll love you and leave you. And we'll see you soon. Bye.
Bye.